Hey guys, this is Andrew Jaffe, owner of Micro IT Infrastructure LLC, which actually owns the very popular blog iOSbrain.com. And I'm here to talk to you about, guess what? See this? Animation. And a lot of times people think that animation is some hugely complex, it's not worth the time. It's not. You can animate an iOS really easily using the UI view class and its type method animate with duration. And what this method does is it allows us to animate with a duration. In other words, perform an animation over a specified amount of time given an animation, and that animation is an escaping block. And a block is a closure, is a piece of code that knows about its context, that you can define and basically pass around in anywhere. We're not going to get too far into blocks. I'll show you one. It's a one-liner. It's simple. I'll show you where to put one. That's this animations, and as Apple says, it's a block object containing the changes to commit to the views. In other words, we're going to change something in order to animate. You can't animate something static. By definition, animation implies motion or change, and in this case we're going to have a before and after. The before will be just before the animation begins, and then the animation gets rolling, and then when the animation completes, that's the after. So before and after. Keep that in mind. The completion block here, which is this third parameter here, is optional. You see where it's specified as nil by default, so we don't have to worry about that one. So let's get into, guess what, something really simple, an Xcode playground. We don't even have to create an Xcode app to do an animation. You can use playgrounds for all sorts of drawing, and I actually use them to prototype all sorts of user interfaces and animations and drawings. So what you want to do is you want to go to File, New, and then Playground. Make sure the iOS category is selected, and then choose Single View. Remember, this is just like choosing a single view app template in Xcode to create an app, except here we're just doing a playground. Now remember, if you were to choose blank, all you could write is some Swift code. We're not even going to worry about games and maps. So anyway, you choose single view, you hit next, you give the playground a name, you find some place to save it, boom, you're done. And so we'll just skip that part because I've already created a playground. Now, this is the default single view playground. The only thing I've changed here was to insert a comment and a space for step 1 and a comment and a space for step 2. Everything else you see here is the original code that comes with that single view app, playground template. What this code does is just draws this label Hello World to screen. That's it. Now, instead of just doing that, I'm going to make this Hello World exclamation point piece of text or UI label instance fade into or animate onto the screen. And you're not going to believe how simple this is. And when you learn it, you're going to become addicted to animations. And animations can really spice up apps and give your apps that edge that makes them stand out in the crowd of, 1.5 million apps in the Apple App Store right now. So what would you think step 1 would be if we were going to fade in Hello World here? Well, let me make it easy for you. What I would say is if you want to animate it in, why don't we hide it from the get-go to start out? So in other words, step 1 is to label.alpha equals 0. And when you set the alpha of a UI component or UI control descendant in iOS, that makes it invisible. And remember, what makes a UI control or UI label here visible is setting that alpha to 1. So think about here, step 1, this is the before. Okay, so before, there's nothing on screen. So we add the code here, adds the label to this view's view, this view controller's view, and then we set this view equal to the this view controller's view. So the label's there now, it's just not visible. Let's animate it in the span of 4 seconds. And we'll use that UI view animate with duration instance method or type method that I showed you earlier. It's really simple. Watch this. UI view dot and now look at this. I don't even have to do anything. The first choice here, animate with duration, time interval animations, that's all I need. No completion block, nothing. This will do it. Trust me. Watch this. Okay, time interval. Remember I said we're going to use 4 seconds. Animation. This is an escaping block. Let's double click on it. And what do we want to do after is label.alpha equals 1. And guess what? That is the after. Now watch what happens when we run this bad boy. Keep your eye over here. It's going to take a second. But you're going to see Hello World gradually appear over the span of 4 seconds. Now wasn't that easy? Look how simple this code is right here. Thank you for joining me. I hope we're going to have many more tutorials together in my videos that I'm just getting started. Hey Simon, shout out to you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.